Actually, before I go upstairs, I just turned off that video and I moved the cars around to get them out of the way. There. Better lighting. Picked this up at Value Village for like $14.99 or whatever. It's one of those little ring lights that people seem to have when they're doing these content creators. Because, you know, I'm professional. So gosh darn professional is me. This is one of the things that was just laying right on top, and I got a bunch more of these 2.5 times the shoebox. And this one is full of light gray parts and pieces. Mostly burps, but many, a great many, a plethora of many castle walls. And this is not even all my castle walls, which is like literally insane how many castle walls I have. I don't know why this isn't here. This was not the Metroliner, although it's the piece that looks like it came with the Metroliner. I think this was a Time Cruiser piece because I built my Metroliner. Actually, I think I have 2 Metroliners over there, the original and the 10,001. I think that was the actual set number, 10,001, when they re-released the Metroliner. That was virtually identical to the original, unlike the 10497. But I have 1 or 2 copies of the Metroliner, and if I was in the trains, still one of my coveted sets. This piece I got in a used lot massively long time ago, and I think it was the Time Cruisers. I think this piece was released in Time Cruisers. I could be wrong about that, so then it would be another Metroliner. So this is my big light gray piece to keep all the, and some of it's yellowed, straight up, some of it's yellowed. But I couldn't even tell you. I could not even tell you how many pieces I have in here of all this stuff. I even started putting these in here because I can't use them for my rocket because I'm not taking the sticker off. And I think this is from Chamber of Secrets. I could be wrong. The 6x8 slow piece. Cool. It's 7x8. Is it? Oh, that's 6x8. This should not be in here. This is classic space. Should not be here. I'm sure there's more in there. And of course, burps. Bigger pieces. Big burp piece. I think this one started when I took apart my moon base, the crater inside the crater lab that I had going on. But I also think maybe it's another Metroliner because there's a door. Maybe I got one in a lot that I don't remember. I don't know. I thought I had, and I don't know where they would be. Might be in the closet. I have like I ordered a ton of these and a ton of these on Bricklink to make my crater go across multiple 48 by 48 base plates, because you go like that and all of a sudden you got a whole rock wall, and you put a bunch of them together. And you put hinges on them so they can hinge over. So this is why those definitely should not be in here. Although it's those guys that are not they're all printed. This is what I'm talking about when I say I have to downsize. I got Castle already built, like reconstituted and in Ziplocs in the garage. This is not even them. This is over and above that. Look how big, look at this, how much, and I'm never going to use it. I mean, 99.9% of the pieces, like, I would keep these. I would keep those. I don't know, a bunch of them here. Castle walls. Now, again, in black, they're for Blacktron, and white, they were in the Polaris base, and for, were they in anything else? Blacktron, Polaris base. I'm trying to remember if they're in other classic space sets. Just can't think off the top of my head. But obviously that can't be used in this classic space set because it's printed. And so, but I also, again, this is such a tough time for me. Like, me putting that 40 pounds of basic brick on Marketplace was easy. Hey, 40 pounds of basic brick, 1x1 through 2x10 in all the various colors. If you want the 20 pounds or whatever. So it was like 2 minutes for me to set up and get on Marketplace. And if nobody takes a hit, I'm going to lower it to $3 a pound instead of $4 a pound. This stuff, oh, that comparatively, you can see, comparatively, yellowed, not yellowed, right? And so it'd be, oh, this one's too yellow and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to get into that. I just want somebody to buy it and take it off my hands. so it might be, and again, this is the other problem. I sold a lot of pieces at the garage sale at Bricks in the Six. It was awesome. One of my favorite things I did so far that made me money and covered some of the stuff. This might be a garage sale thing at a Lego convention. My problem is that I only go to one a year, maybe. And so it sits here until then, a Lego convention. Because again, I have adamantly, and I do mean this. I do mean this. I'm not making Lego bigger. I loved the Crater base. It was awesome. I thought it was really, I loved it. I don't know if anybody else mileage may vary. I loved it. I loved the concept. I loved how it worked. I mean, it wasn't show worthy all the time because sometimes the lift gave out, but I thought that was a great concept. And movement and lights and all that stuff. Because you could actually see the lights when the big lights were on, because of course it's inside the crater. If you go back in my videos years ago, the whole inside of the base is lit up inside the crater. But it was big, and it won't fit in the 5 by 7.5, and it was temperamental, which sometimes happens, and so it wasn't show worthy, and it wasn't longevity worthy. It's hard to set up. That's more than 2 hours to set it up. That part alone takes over 45 minutes to set up, and I'm not interested. And so these are the benchmarks I'm making for myself. If it takes longer than 2 hours on a regular show to set up, then something's got to go. That went right, and so and I don't see it returning. The whole thing was taken apart. I'm quite sure it's still not underneath the stairs. I think I rolled all the pieces back into the collection. If I haven't rolled all the pieces back in the collection, then I still got a tote in the underneath the stairs of that one tote of that crater base. And I was like, oh, I don't want to look at it anymore. But I think it's reasonably, because I think I got the life lights back over here. Again, this is my other problem, is that I have no idea what I have and what I don't have, because there's not strategic, just kind of dumped a tote there and hit it there and hit it this here. Like, this thing hasn't seen the light in years. It hasn't. It's been right there underneath the rest of the totes that are around here. That's not a tote. I want to separate totes, which is big Rubbermaid rugged totes, versus the 2.5 times shoe boxes. When I say 2.5 times shoe boxes, all my shoe boxes behind me, 1, 2, and a half will fit in here. If you dump 2.5 shoe boxes in here full of stuff, it fills the bin. So this is like, I figured that out by dumping stuff in here from shoe boxes. And so this is what this is. And I want it to be gone overall. But I also, on the flip side, don't want to put a lot of effort into it. So this is my conundrum. And even I get used lots, and it comes with more castle walls. They go into here, right? I get more burps. They go into here. And this is the light gray one. I mean, I'll be the first to say the dark gray one's slightly smaller. Slightly stuck behind totes of stuff, so I can't get at it. This is my problem. But that's a primer of the rest of the stuff that's under the desk that I have to get to. Right now, I have a whole blank spot from where that tote was that had the supercars in it and all the other classic space sets in it. So that's cleaned out now. So I got like 1.5 feet of leg space now. Right there is empty. What I dug out, what I can get out now, is my original attempt at sticking base plates to wood, and I haven't taken them off yet. And I grabbed 4 of the crappiest base plates that I had at the time. They're so yellow, they're crap. So I just cut a piece of wood that's 20 by 20, and I double face taped them to that. And there was never a need for me to take this off. So it's together. What else is down there? You may ask. Go ahead, guys. I made this, and it's kind of stuck down here. Oh my goodness. The Dave and Sandy wedding photo, which is made up of Truman style, all the photos of the day of our wedding. There was an app years ago on the BlackBerry, on my PC actually, where we took these are all the wedding photos that Callum took, that Derek took, that Friends took. And we put them all in the folder, and I said, make this picture. And this used to be on the wall right here, but then I put a shelf there to put Lego on it because I got too much Lego. So I kind of said that this has just been sitting under my desk. It's a beautiful picture. I love this picture. My beautiful bride, she puts up a photo. What else we got on here? This is what Sandy got one of her friends to make for me for my 50th birthday. Yay! So that's nice. I keep that underneath here. I'm not gonna get rid of that. We got. This is even going way back machine. I mentioned this before. The submarine. We got them printed, put them wood to put on the wall. But of course, they're not on the wall because there's no space. There's no space for space. This is kind of be hidden down here. My favorite picture of me ever taken ever. I want to say halfway through my 20s when this picture was taken. That is the Endeavour submarine. Anyway, this is kind of hidden back there. And the last, but by no means least, relate to our hobby, I do have one of these. I'm thinking Mike Shields, although I could be wrong. It could be Janie. I don't know. Again, my faulty memory on this one, but it's been sitting here. I keep on meaning to bring it to shows, but other people bring the stuff to shows, so this thing sits under my desk. It's a nice, solid piece. It's the new logo, so it's not that old. I'm thinking now it's more Janie than Mike. But either one, thank you. So it sits there. What else? Oh, this is a picture that I just printed off. We had we got one of those photo printers because Sandy took lots of pictures on digital, and we just wanted to print them for her scrapbook before she went online to do Mixbook. Mixbook, by the way, best thing ever. And so I tried just downloading a JPEG of something, and I downloaded that. And it used to be hanging up here, but Fantasy Girl is like, and I keep on finding pieces that fall behind my desk. So, so that's all the stuff that is back here. But oh, this is nice. I don't know why I didn't notice this on the floor. Josh, when he was 3 or 4, well, maybe a little older than 4, made a Pokemon card, but not just any Pokemon card, a Pokemon card of his dad scuba diving. He asked me to draw a scuba diver, so that's my crappy rendition of a scuba diver, and then he did the whole Pokemon card around it. I love my kid. My goodness, I love my kid. That's usually hanging up over here. I didn't realize it fell down. He made his own Pokemon card for his dad. Like, yeah. I'm getting misty. I'm gonna get off this page because you guys don't need to see me getting misty. So that's everything over there. Beside that, we have Janie made me this thing a long time ago. When we were supposed to do lots of shows together, which didn't happen, but OBB Classic Space Layout, because that's why I call it the OBB Classic Space Layout, Ontario Brick Builders Classic Space Layout. And then, so this was supposed to be put up as a marquee for whenever we did a show. Unfortunately, I don't think it ever got out in public once before, quote unquote, OBB kind of just fell apart. Not it didn't fall apart, it just kind of didn't go anywhere. So, but she had that printed out. I'm going to get some new stuff printed out. At some point, there was a printing place down the street that I finally consciously said, oh, there's a printing place right here, and I should go over there because I have my that I want to get printed out. This is the Cassiopeia Sierra Luna base, but this also has the org chart, the hierarchy. There's Admiral Sandy Brickbauer right there, and Admiral Sandy Brickbauer. Not necessarily named after my wife, but Admiral Sandy Brickbauer. And then all the pilots. The pilots, you'll recognize some names, possibly. Pause that, but if you go into the black there, right at the top, Jeff, because it's his rocket. So, The black guys take care of the rocket, and so Jeff's the leader of the rocket guys. I tried to come up with all sorts of wonderful names, and what I meant to do is try to get this thing printed on either the vinyl, so I could roll it up, but big enough so you could read the writing on it, because again, everybody has a name. Everybody in the layout has a name. Not that I attributed everybody in this to somebody in the layout, but I just wanted to see if I could do this and see how it would look, and I could just hang it on something. So people say, hey, like there's a whole org chart here. It's just one of those things that I thought would be fun for, and it took me a while, obviously. I printed off on our plotter printer at work at bad scale, so the actual picture of the layout looks like crap. I'm gonna try printing it off on high quality to see if it gets any better before I send it off to the printers, because that's all blurry, and it's all blurry. But this picture was taken, from this thing, was taken the day that my buddy Pete and I set up the layout at his studio there, and he did all that video. That's on my main page for YouTube, where people say, hey, what do you do? And I just point them to this video. So, also over here, stuff that I meant to do stuff with, but I never got around to. I have a stack of X-Pods. I don't know why I have all these X-Pods, and of course they're trans yellow X-Pods. I honestly tried to remember if it was just a Bricklink order that I ordered, or if somebody said, hey Dave, I have a whole bunch of trans yellow X-Pods, do you want some? I don't think this was lug bulk back in the day, but I have all these trans yellow X-Pod containers that I had an idea, I just never got to fruition. And now that I'm keeping the layout small, these things are completely irrelevant to me. At least this many. I maybe keep 2 to 5. Want to get rid of the rest, but who's gonna want 20 X-Pods and without the lids? Just the trans yellow. And then the white ones, I just got just by buying X-Pods. So these are all the X-Pods. I mean, I got trans dark red over there, or trans red and a bunch of other colors, but I acquired a whole bunch of clear ones that must have been in clearance. Yeah, that's about it. And so that's the corner of my desk down there, and of course there's the layout again, the org chart there, and underneath the org chart is everything is awesome, the Lego Movie 2 poster just sitting there. Stuff that I don't mind not cleaning up. They can just sit there until the end of time, because there it is. So, but I do have a want to get rid of all this stuff that, quote unquote, it's just in the way, even though it's stuck under my desk and I haven't gotten to it in years. I want to not feel discombobulated. I want to feel not like claustrophobic with so much stuff. That lot I just got rolled into the collection pretty easy, except for the basic brick, and that all went into that tote that I'm now trying to sell on Marketplace, because basic brick takes up a lot of space and I have enough. And yet every time you get lots, you're going to get more. And so I have 2 totes full. I want to get rid of that. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, those 2.5 shoe boxes full of stuff down there I want to get into. And then going that way, I have another tote of stuff there that I've just been dumping stuff into pretty recently, but some old stuff. I got a tote in the back corner sitting on top of another tote in the back corner. The tote on top I have to sort out. I think there might be half of it might be basic brick underneath what I piled on top. And then the floor has been better, but it's been worse. So I have a lot of work to do to clean this room up. Over on this side, underneath the desk, are all the boxes of sets that I have not built yet. Some of it came from Torolug. Some of it came from our friend over at the wholesaling store, and of course the 10030 sitting there as my footrest over there, still not built. I did have this guy that, you know, I don't need to build him because I already have 2 right over there, and then all the other stuff. I do have I do have Optimus Prime that I would love to build at one point, but my worry is that if I build him, I have zero place to display him. And again, Transformers wasn't a massively huge part of my life, but it was part of my life growing up. When I think it showed up on TV when I was 17, 18 years old, but I had a friend in college that was right into it, and I saw the movies and blah, blah. So I needed an excuse to buy something to get the gift with purchase with the Invader from Blacktron 1, whatever you call it. And Optimus was the ideal set because it was almost high enough to get the gift with purchase. I had to buy one more thing for Josh because there was no other set in the Lego store at the time that I wanted. And again, this is not as disparaging, not to go off on this tangent 20 minutes into this. I will not disparage what Lego's doing now with these expensive sets. I won't do it. They're making money, and I'm glad they're making money. Same business, and there's no way somebody can justify that the sets aren't good. The Titanic set is good. The Coliseum was good. The piano is good. The jazz musicians are all fantastic sets, but they're not directed at me, and I get that. They're not. I'm not that fan. I'm not a fan that it has to have all the most expensive sets all the time. I don't need the $900 Millennium Falcon. I didn't need the ISD. I didn't need it. Jason volunteered it. And it has light gray in it. so I got it maybe with the auspices that I was going to build a big layout at some point back then. And I would need the light gray. But as I said, I found another ISD 10030 at Value Village last year, and I sold the cost of the baggies. My friend covered the cost of that, paid us back, so basically we're net zero. And he has it now because he wanted one. He never got it because he was too young to get one when he was younger. And so that's what I have zero problem with. If you're out there and you say anything that I have, you say, oh, when I was, because this stuff's from 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. And you say, oh, Dave, I always wanted that set when I was a kid. And you just reconstituted it. We'll work on a price. Absolutely. If you wanted that yellow load lifter and digger with a 1x2 tank treads on it from the 1975, if you want that set, because I have multiple copies of it, like literally multiple copies of it right now, built. If you said, oh, I really wanted that set, I don't know who would tell me that, but I said, if you want it, honest to goodness, let me know. If you've seen any of these videos from going way back, any video at all, and you say, Dave, you got a box full of parts over there that I want some of. The cockpits, the yellow cockpits. Like, you see how many I have. And I don't see me building another building that's going to require that many more. Because if I'm building another building, I'm taking one apart. Right? So I do have too much. But I also don't want to open up a Rickling store. I don't want the burden of, oh, this guy didn't get it. He expected on day 3 and he got it on day 5, so he's going to leave me a bad review. I don't want any of that. I am not interested in making a profit. I'm also not interested in dealing with the Karens and the whining or whatever. I did feel bad that I promised 2 people sets, and it took too long for me to get them to them. They got them now. They're both happy, thankfully. But that took me too long, and life happened, mom and everything. But I did feel bad through the entire time because I'm not good at. But now I said I put that box on Marketplace today. And some people have asked in Throw Lug that they want something, and I bring it to the next show. It's perfect. So if you see something, something that I may have that you want, we're all friends here. Don't hesitate to ask. And I don't care where you are in the world. Like, I can ship anywhere without tracking, because tracking is just stupid money. And if you don't get it, you don't get it. And I don't mind losing it. Tracking. If I have another one, I'll try shipping it again. All you wonderful people out there who have actually sat through all these videos and listened to me drone on, you know what I have here. And if you say, oh, Dave, you have a whole bunch of those pieces, do you mind getting rid of a few? Nope, I don't. I honestly don't. Just let me know. And I'll keep you posted on the stuff I'm going to pull out from my desk. And I'm going to clean that first. And then I'm going to tackle the restroom. And then I don't know how long this is, because it's going to take weeks. It really is. But what's going to happen after that is I'm going to go through every bin again. I'm going to go through every bin My friend Jeffy did this a while back. He sorted all his Technic uh, friction pins, not friction pins, non-friction gray pins, and the bushings, half bushings, and all the other parts that came in gray and light gray and light gray. He sorted them into those specific colors. I haven't done that yet. My bin of non-friction pins, they're gray and light gray. Light gray and light gray. And I have to watch that when I'm building the supercar, and I need some extra pieces because I want to be authentic. So I might be doing that at some point, but I don't think I'll be videotaping that. It's going to be as boring as anything. But yeah, I do have a plan, and I'm kind of excited about this plan. Well, I'm still waiting for spring to show up because I'm going to be back in the garage and doing a whole bunch of stuff in the garage in the spring. But until then, I'm going to spend some time down here getting this room organized, getting it cleaned up, figuring out what to do with all these box sets I got in my desk, which is kind of like a little crazy for me to have this many box sets. Most of them are botanicals. What happens is that when we go for Lego dinner, we buy a botanical set because we're going to build it, and we just never build it because it happens. So we got 1, 2, 3, at least 3 botanical sets right now down there. The one thing I wanted to do this weekend was do a live and build this during a live. Just never got around to it, and the weekend's almost done, so that'll wait. So that's it. That's all. I'm going to leave this up here. My son, Misty. And I'm going to put this stuff back so it's off the desk. But that's it. That's all. I was going to talk about that thing again, but I'm a little too emotional right now again to talk about, other things. So, but I do appreciate the people that I know in this hobby, and that's why I have no problem, because I've talked about this a great many times. It's probably boring people. I've been blessed so much in this hobby with the people I know and what I've been able to acquire at very, very relatively inexpensive way of acquiring stuff, because I was at the right place at the right time, literally a lot. And so that thing right there, it was so, for me, it was out of the blue, but it was so heartfelt from the community that I didn't want to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it. It wasn't the best in show, because they don't do a best in show in Bricks in the Six. It was the person who contributes to the community over a long time or whatever. It was Simon and Graham and Joseph and a whole bunch of other people got together, and they said Dave's worthy to receive this Stanley Cup of Lego for just being who he is. Basically. And I was completely blown away, like gobsmacked by that. I mentioned that when I got it, and because I just do what I do. Honest to God, I just do what I do. I just show up and see what happens. I've talked about that before. I help where I can, where I want it. And so my want to give back to the community is massively huge. And like I gave up Boy Scouts because it was the right thing to do for me at the time. I gave up the church because it was the right thing for me to do at the time. I gave up a lot of my volunteer organizations that I used to do because it was the right thing. They wanted to go off in that direction, and I want to go in this direction. I was not personally comfortable being in those institutions, shall we say, for no legitimate reason that would warrant other people to leave those institutions. It was just me. I guess the easiest way for me to say is I grew out of it. I grew less interested in being there on those volunteer organizations, and it was no slight to them that I wanted to get out. I've never been harmed. I've never been waylaid. I've never been whatever. I love those institutions to this day, the ones I was part of. I can't say across the world, but the ones I was part of in Boy Scouts and what I was a part of in the church, I will never ever regret 1 minute of one moment of one thing that I did for any of them or with any of them and volunteering for any of them. But now it's time for the next generation, somebody else. It's time for, I've done my, quote unquote, this is a pithy way of saying it, but I've done my bit for King and Country. It's now time for somebody else to do that stuff. It's not up to me anymore. For me, Lego's always been there, going back to my earliest memories, but there was no cohesive group that I could share this with until I met people on the internet. And then there was RTL Toronto and OBB and now Torluck. And I want to dedicate not as much, I want to say this very carefully. I don't want to dedicate substantive time to the management thereof. I don't want to be in any executive group. I don't want to be a secretary. I don't want to be, but I have no problem running shows. Hey, show up. And I'm looking for shows all the time. I'm looking for, hey, Woodstock, you're doing a weekend show. Do you mind? And like putting out the feelers for that. And then saying to Torluck, so unofficial Torluck, guys, I'm going to be out there doing a show. You want to come with me? That's what I'm going to be doing. So, and if you don't show up, you don't show up. And if they want me at a show, I'm going to show up. It's like, I'm debating the Toronto Comic Con, but definitely Anime North is definitely one I want to do. And if they do a Fan Expo, like I've never done Fan Expo before. And I think the layout would be a value added service of Fan Expo. But anyway, so that award was inspired many people over the years. And I take that as a very heartfelt thing, because it wasn't that I was trying to inspire people, because I think that's the important part for people who are inspirations, is that some people do it for the sense of ego, for the sense of self. Oh, look how many followers I have. And this is why my YouTube channel is 880 and not 80,000. I don't want 80,000 people if they don't want to be here. I've talked about it many times. I won't say it again. But I don't purposely want to inspire people. I want to just go along in my path and do what I want to do, enjoy it, and be a value-added service to others. That's my entire life. My work, my family, my friends. I want to be a value-added service like they've always been for me. And so it's not a sense of tit for tat. It's not a sense of ego. It's not a sense of anything else. That I want to enjoy myself. And part of my enjoying myself is enjoying what other people enjoy. And part of enjoying myself is enjoying hanging around people of passionate interests. And this is going back. I mentioned Janie so many times. I mentioned Jeff so many times. I mentioned Derek, Callum, one of my favorite friends ever. And they step up and they do stuff that I don't want to do. They've been part of committees. They've been part of teams. Jeff doing all these conventions now. I'm living vicariously through Jeff now, because he's doing all these shows. And he's meeting all these people I've known for many years, but only virtually. He's going to shows now. And he's trying to get out west, and I've all the happiness for him. And he comes back and he talked about it, and it's great because I'm living vicariously, and it makes me excited. And so yeah, I am still humbled that I got that, and I still am very appreciative of the entire fan base here in this community, and I have so many friends, both in the real world and online, that share this hobby with me that I just want to be around. They're all wonderful people. And this is what I'm doing right now. And I'm going to keep on doing right now. So, and part of that's cleaning my room. So anyway, that's too many tangents. Another 30-minute video. This is going to be a week of long videos, by the way. Sorry about that. It was supposed to be a quick video, but I was supposed to just give you a primer to what's under my desk, and then we went off into stuff. But anyway, that's it. That's all. Hope everybody's doing well. My voice is starting to get a little softer, so I better cut this now. Stay safe, take care, and I will talk to you soon.